The Federal Reserve came out and made two announcements in their regular announcement session. Two big points. Number one, interest rates will remain at or near zero until at least 2024. 4 more years. Now that's big, and that's the news that everybody caught on to. Interest rates are going to be low. That affects the bond market, that affects home mortgages, and everything else that ties to interest rates. The second thing that they mentioned that most people glossed over is they are going to stop trying to target 2% inflation, meaning they're going to allow inflation to go above 2%. They didn't give specifics. Did they expect it to go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 20, 30? They didn't give any specifics on where inflation is going to go, but they have the tools in their arsenal to control inflation by raising interest rates typically. But they've decided that they are not going to target 2%. What does this mean? Trying to read between the lines, I believe what they're trying to say is we have a large national debt. We have a federal government who spends no matter who's in office, and we don't see this changing. COVID was just a great example of how everybody pretty much got on board with funding the stimulus checks, and half of the people are wanting to do a second stimulus check. And it's not just stimulus where it's a check in the mail to you, the individual. It's bailouts of companies, bailouts of industries, and they're more than happy to send out trillions of dollars to address these concerns. Now, the Fed sees this as, hey, this is not a long-term sustainable process. Inflation, however, is an actual tax on everybody, on assets, certainly it hurts savers the most. If inflation's 5% and your CD is still paying 2%, that parity is costing you 3% a year just because you aren't taking risk to outperform inflation. I believe this is what the Fed is trying to do. I think they're saying inflation's going up, interest rates are staying low, and we're going to make this 20, 30, 50 million or $1 trillion deficit less relevant a decade from now because we're going to allow inflation to just kind of jump up a little bit and devalue the current debts that we've already accumulated. That's how I see it. Two big things. How does this affect you? Great question. Tune in for another video on how you can hedge against this inflation that's coming. I'm Justin Struble with BSG Advisors. I'm not a broker. I'm a fixer.